Hello and welcome to the WST Level 3 podcast. My name's Chris Scott and we've put these podcasts together to help our students and other students pass the WST Level 3 exam. One of the things we do is we have a large amount of tasting support products that will help most students pass the tasting exam, as well as our exam questions. Our tasting support includes feedback on your tasting note, mock tasting exams, tasting masterclasses followed by tasting exam resets, as well as a guide that accompanies our audio guide to the WST SAT. Do consider our exam questions as well. We've got over 500 questions and a mixture of multi-choice and long answer exam style questions. Enjoy. Hi, my name's Christopher Scott and I'm here with Caroline Dessort from Yecla, and you work for the regulatory body down there, which is it's a wine region in Spain.
Exactly.
So what we want to do is talk about the wine region today and get a feel for it. It's one of those regions I know a little bit about, but not much. So do you want to just start off by saying, first of all, hello.
Hello.
And tell us a bit about yourself, and then we'll get into a little bit about the wine region itself.
Yes, please.
So you work for the regulatory body?
Exactly.
Which is?
The Consejo Regulador de Yecla.
The reason I got you to say that is because I don't think I'll be able to say that anywhere near as well as you.
And they are in charge of all the regulations of the denominación de origen.
Yep.
So they make the regulations how much grapes you have to leave on the plant and how, and if you have to put acidity or sugar or whatever, and they control everything.
Yep.
So this is like in every appellation all over the world, actually.
Exactly. Okay, no, that's cool. Let's start off with where the heck Yecla is.
So if you look at the coast of Spain, you go further down, you have Valencia and Alicante. It's not on the side of the Atlantic, it's still in the Mediterranean.
Yep.
And then if you go about 50 kilometers west inland, you come to Yecla. It's a little town of about 70,000 people living there.
Yep.
And mostly it's wine industry. They have also furniture. They have,
okay.
Yes, it's very funny, yeah. But they mostly it's wine industry, actually.
Yeah.
And the main variety is Monastrell.
Okay, so just for me, if I'm thinking about it, if you have Spain as a square,
Yes.
they're in that bottom right-hand corner.
Yes.
Yeah, just in the Mediterranean.
Yes.
And it can be quite a hilly region, can't it?
It is. It's very interesting and that's also the reason why the wines still stay crispy and have a nice acidity, because the vineyards are quite high, between 800 and 900 meters. So you have Campo Arriba and Campo Abajo. Campo Abajo is almost not sea level, but 150 meters. And then you go up till 900 meters, which is quite interesting for...
Yeah, because you lose, half a degree of temperature for about
exactly.
every 100 meters.
Exactly,
so.
And especially also at night, it becomes very, not very cold because it's really hot down there, but it becomes a bit colder, and the difference between night and day temperature is very important for the acidity of a wine.
Yeah, people talk about being the diurnals, don't they? And the colder the night, the wines tend to hold on to their acidity.
Exactly.
And there are a number of regions there.
The region actually is Murcia. This is a town a bit further in.
Oh, okay.
And the region is called Murcia, and you have 3 denominaciones de origen, so appellations.
Yes, yeah.
Exactly. Which are Yecla, Jumilla, and Buyas. And they are all well known for Monastrell.
Monastrell,
Yes.
yeah. Jumilla, how do you pronounce it?
Jumilla.
Yeah, but it's Jumilla.
Yes.
L-I.
Double L-I, yes.
Yeah, I always think of it as Jumilla, but Jumilla.
Yeah, you have to spit a bit in your mic.
Jumilla. Okay.
Yes, exactly.
I'll clean the mic afterwards. Jumilla. So Jumilla is... I know Jumilla because a few years ago I was drinking a Petit Verdot from there, and it was really lovely. It was a big, rich wine, because Petit Verdot needs a bit of heat to ripen properly.
Exactly.
But it was a massively rich wine with this lovely... floral violet notes in there as well, and it was beautiful wine, aged lovely. I had a case or two of it, and I just drank it over about 10 years, and it was absolutely superb.
10 years.
Yeah, it kept for a long time.
Yeah, that's surprisingly long for a wine. Yeah,
I probably drank most of it in 5 to 6 years, but I had a few bottles towards the end. So So I know Jumilla
Yeah.
from that, but I don't really know Yecla or I've never even heard of, what's the other one? Ballas. Boyas. I've never even heard of
It's
that.
next door, actually. You know, the Jumilla not, because Jumilla was known before, very much known actually for bulk wines.
Yeah.
They sold a lot of bulk wines. But now there are a lot of bodegas which bottle wine as well, and they make really nice quality. And so Jumilla is the biggest region, but then you have Yecla and Boyas next door, and these are smaller regions.
Okay, so your connection with the region is mainly through Yecla, is that right?
Yes, exactly.
So why don't you tell us a wee bit about Yecla? Is it? You said it was in the hills, was it?
Yes, it's surrounded by hills, actually.
Mm-hmm.
There is one hill called Monte Arabi, and this is a really nice hill. And you have to imagine, you close your eyes and you imagine very dry land, so very yellow and red stony. It's almost desert, actually.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden, all these nice green and fresh vineyards appear. And this is really beautiful to see, because it looks like on the moon, and then you see all these green vineyards in this dry desert. It looks really...
Where do you get the water from?
From very deep down in the soil, and also from the hills sometimes. And you have to imagine as well that sometimes there is fog.
Yeah. Fog, okay.
Well, fog, it's a bit cloudy, and you get the humidity sometimes also from the air.
Okay.
Then you have to think also that we are next to the sea,
Mm-hmm.
and there are winds coming in from Alicante, from the sea, and this is also fresh and humid air sometimes.
Oh, okay. So you get a little bit of moisture coming
Yeah,
in. You wouldn't call it rain, though, would you?
Yeah, no, but no rain at all. I mean, it's
No rain at all?
Well, it's... I go there a couple of times during the year, and when I see rain, it's a rainstorm, and that's it.
Okay.
Hail sometimes, unfortunately.
Yeah.
About 3 years ago, they had a huge hailstorm, and a lot of vineyards were destroyed, but no rain at all. It's really dry.
So how do the grapes grow? Because if it's never raining, then...
Well, it is raining once, twice a year, you know, but it's dry. It's really dry.
Yeah.
And you have to know that the roots of a plant can dig until 25 meters, which is huge. So they get the water from the groundwater, you know.
Okay. Oh, all right. Okay, that's... Yeah, so it must be very hard to establish a vineyard because the roots will be very immature and they'll be at the surface where it's...
Well, you have, fortunately, still very old vineyards there, because it's an old tradition to plant wine there. So you find also old wines. They called it old wines, or viñas viejas. That means you have vineyards from 40 to 60 years, which is quite interesting. And makes very nice and concentrated wine.
I was going to say, as the vine ages, the yield drops away, so you'll end up with more and more concentrated wines. Okay. How do you trellis the vines? Are they on wires or are they bush vines?
Yeah, they're bush wines.
Yeah.
Yes, because you have to imagine, as there is not much water, they put the plants in between. The plants are about 150 2 meters, because otherwise there is too much
competition
for water. So they are bush wines mostly. Mm-hmm. Actually, not mostly. Actually, all of them are bush wines.
Yeah.
I've never seen
trellis
wires, actually.
So that means it's got to be hand harvested, really.
It is, yeah.
Yeah, which is always expensive.
Expensive, but it's also, it's a huge work.
Yeah.
During end of August, they begin, obviously it's very hot, so the harvest begins end of August. Depends the variety. They have also white ones, so they begin first, obviously, with the white ones, and then they go on with the red ones, and it's about until, I would say, nowadays even they begin mid of August sometimes, and then until mid of September or something like this.
Okay. And we're going to talk about Monastrell next week, but you showed me some of the wines, and they were blends of all sorts of grape varieties.
Yes, I showed you this because Monastrell is quite... I talked to you before. I said they are a bit grumpy. The tannins are a bit grumpy in the bottle, and
crunchies.
no, grumpy. I would say, not crunchy. Well, crunchy, yeah. They are a bit rough, so that's the reason why they make a lot of assemblage. they put a bit of Syrah in it. They have Merlot, and they have Petit Verdot. You mentioned it before, and I think the Petit Verdots of this region can be very interesting as well because they are really ripe.
Yeah.
And the phenolic ripeness has been made. Not like in Bordeaux, where they sometimes pick it green and then the tannins are really not pleasant, you know. So they become really nice and sweet, and you get really nice wines with this Petit Verdot as well. But the Monastrell needs a bit of help sometimes of other varieties.
Yep. Okay, let's talk a little bit about Jumilla. You said that was the largest region in the area.
Yeah. Its regions in Spain is called Murcia, and then they have appellations around it, and one is Jumilla, yes.
And again, it's in the mountains?
Jumilla is an appellation in the region of Murcia.
Yep.
And it's also in the mountains, yes.
So are all three appellations very similar in terms of grape varieties, climate?
I would say the vineyards of Yecla are and Buyas as well are the highest one, and then in Jumilla it's more, as they made bulk wine before, it's more really flat. And
is that got trellising in Jumilla?
Yes.
So they can do mechanical harvesting and all that sort
nowadays, yes. They had it before, not in goblet, but nowadays they do harvesting with the machines.
Okay, because that helps keep the cost down.
At least for the big quantities.
Yeah, for the big producers. Yeah. Okay, no, that makes sense. Okay, so Monastrell.
Yes.
The Aussies call it Mataro.
Yes.
And the French call it Mourvèdre.
Exactly.
It's the same grape variety.
It is. Absolutely.
Has it got any more names?
No, I don't think. I think this is pretty.
The main two.
Yeah.
Okay, and in France, Mourvèdre is grown in the south of France.
Yeah, like Côte-du-Rhône.
Côte-du-Rhône.
Châteauneuf-du-Pape, Gigondas, Vaqueras, and this region there.
And there's one region in France that makes 100% Mourvèdre, and that's Bordeaux. And they're right on the coast, sort of facing off to the sea, and people talk about being southern facing on a hills to try and even in the southern France it struggles to ripen.
And it's special because Bordeaux is the only appellation down there which makes red wines. The whole other region, Provence, is rosé.
Yes.
So Bordeaux is the only appellation which make red wines made of Mourvèdre.
Mourvèdre, or we're going to call it Monastrell.
Monastrell, yes, right. In this case, yes.
What's its original name? Do you know where it came from?
I think it comes from this region, the whole coast region from France, because the grapes don't know the borders, right?
Yeah,
we
that's
made
true.
Borders, so they just grow where they. And I think it comes originally from there, from this region.
Probably. Okay, so do you want to tell us a wee bit about it? Because I always think of Mourvèdre or Monastrell as being a really big, gutsy, tannic, deep-coloured wine.
It is, actually. It is. It is really deep-coloured, and it's tannic. But as there is a lot of sun, the phenolic ripeness has been made, and that means the tannins are very ripe.
Yeah.
And with the age, they get smoother, and they even get like a bit sweet. You know, you will find sweetness even in the wines when they get aged.
Yeah.
I'm not talking about a young Mourvèdre without wood and anything, but if it's a bit older, it gets really nice and smooth.
Yeah.
And it's a great pleasure, actually.
I went through because we're at the London Wine Fair at the moment, and yesterday I tasted a few of the Monastrells from around there, and the thing that surprised me is, yes, they're tannic, but they're not as tannic as, say, a Barolo from Italy. You know, a Barolo from Italy can leave my mouth numb, and if you go to a Barolo tasting, it's just after 20 or 30 Barolos, it's like, oh, please get me out of here, sort of thing.
Yeah, well, the Nebbiolo, which is the variety which is made of, or Barolo is made of Nebbiolo, is a bit different, and you have to think where we are. You are much further down south than in Piedmont. So this Monastrell gets a lot of sun, and you get a lot of ripeness. And that's the reason why the tannins are much smoother than maybe of a Nebbiolo in the northern Italy.
Talking about the tannins and the colour.
Yes.
Just because it's got grape skins with lots of tannins and lots of colours, in them, you don't necessarily need to extract all the tannin and colour. And,
No, you shouldn't even.
You shouldn't?
No, because I think otherwise it gets really this heavy and compote and, the really dark cooked fruit wines. And I don't think the consumer is looking for that. You still have to be in the elegance. So that means you don't gonna over-extract your wines.
Okay, it's an interesting way of describing it, because to me, I always think of elegant wines as wines with a reasonable acidic backbone, and so therefore I would have thought that a wine that hadn't ripened as far is going to show more elegance and less cooked fruits, and then if it's physiologically riper, you'll get more cooked fruits and less acidity. And I look at it slightly,
and that's the reason why you shouldn't over macerate your wine. It's during the maceration where you get all these aromas and stuff. And as the grape already is very ripe, it's important not to over extract your wines, because otherwise you get all these heavy and opulent aromas, which are a bit too much sometimes.
Oh, okay. So you're saying that's part of the extraction process, as obviously the flavors have got to be there from the ripeness anyway.
Yes.
Okay, so a lighter extraction. I know that sometimes people do carbonic maceration down there. And for the listeners, if you don't remember what carbonic maceration is, it's where, semi-carbonic is where you've normally got a big vat.
Fresh fruit. Well, you get the fresh fruit from.
Yeah. You put your grapes in a tank, and the ones at the bottom crush a little bit of fermentation, so you get CO2. Fills up the tank with CO2.
No. You close the tank, actually.
Oh, you're closing the tank, yeah.
Yeah, that's the reason why it's carbonic, and it produces the CO2 inside the closed tank. And therefore you at the end you get really nice and fresh fruit aromas. But I agree with you, they do it, but not 100%, because otherwise you get this...
banana.
This drop, this Beaujolais kind of aromas, which you don't really want to. You really want only a bit of freshness, and they maybe do a 20 or 30% of carbonic maceration.
Yeah, okay. The key thing there is that the grapes can't get access to oxygen, so they go through into an intercellular fermentation, as people explain.
Yeah, exactly.
And that gives you those sort of bubblegummy...
and droppy and banana aromas.
Yeah. So... I mean, I don't mind those flavours in a Beaujolais, but you look at a big tannic wine, you go, ooh, banana as well. Maybe not quite the right flavour profile. Okay, so you can tame the tannins a little bit through extraction and maybe some semi-carbonic, a little blend of that in there as well. Do you find people are making 100% Monastrell, or do you think it's more of a blending grape?
No. You find obviously always the purists who really like to make the monocepage, which means you make just the pure Monastrell or the pure Petit Verdot or whatever. But I think generally for the consumer, it's nice to have an assemblage, to have like a bit of this pepper notes of Syrah, and then the elegance of a bit of Cabernet Sauvignon, and the bone, the structure of the Monastrell. And that makes a nice, pleasant wine, I think.
Would you prefer to drink 100% Monastrell,
yes,
or would you...
Definitely.
Okay.
I'm a purist because I'm interested to get the information from the soil, how the people think who make the wine, and what they feel about the variety, So yes, I like monocepage, but I know that if you are with friends around a nice table and you have a nice barbecue, maybe it's easier to drink a pleasant and a smoother wine instead of having a pure Monastrell or a pure Garnacha, who are really
robust.
Robust and very strong wines.
Okay. So if you were to blend it, not that you would, because that would be wrong, but if you were to blend it, what are the main blending partners that you grow down there?
Well, in this region, you also you will also find Petit Verdot, as you said before, which is very interesting, I think. And you find the common Syrah and Merlot. And they blend normally from out of these...
Wouldn't you think Syrah Merlot would be a little bit too hot for the region? I mean, the
but
region's a little bit hot
in
for
combination, we are again at the same point as before. If you over extract your wines, it's too hot. But if you do it well and you don't hide too much, it's okay. So, and a bit of it, it's not, you're not going to blend it 50-50. You're going to put maybe 10% of Merlot in it and 20% of Syrah or something. So you have a nice blend.
Like any Spanish wine region, a lot of the quality is Crianza, Reserva,
Yes.
Grand Reserva. Does that still apply in your region?
No. You also can make a Crianza and you can put it on your bottle, but the regulation doesn't say the same than in Rioja or in the northern parts of Spain. But at the end, yes, Crianza also has to be at least 6 months in the barrels,
Yep.
and afterwards another 6 months in the bottle at the bodega.
Okay.
Yeah.
And you don't have a Reserva or a Grand Reserva in the region?
No, you wouldn't put it on the bottle, maybe. You just make it,
Yeah.
and you write on the back of your label that it has been 12 months or 18 months in the barrel.
Yeah,
but
yeah.
you wouldn't call it Reserva, I think. It's
No.
it's not very known in this region.
Okay, and the other one is Joven, where the wine hasn't seen any oak at all.
Joven means
Joven.
Joven means young wines.
Yeah.
And these normally have not been in the barrels.
So if you're making a Joven,
Yes.
or Joven or Juvenile or
Chris.
whatever, my listeners know my pronunciation is pretty rough.
It's okay.
Um,
I got you.
you go for a very light extraction.
Yeah, you have less extraction than if you make
Yeah.
a wine which you're going to keep 10 years, obviously,
Yeah,
because you need less structure and you are more on the fruit.
Yeah. And how long do these wines age? Because alcohol is a preservative and tannins are a preservative, and so is acidity. Your wines weren't, the ones I tried anyway, weren't lacking acidity, most of them, but there weren't exactly rapier acidity in the wines. So what's the aging potential of a...
I would say you can keep it 10 to 12 years
Yeah.
still, because you say there is not much acidity, but I think we are, if you take the grapes from the higher vineyards, you're at least at 6-7 grams of acidity, which is pretty good.
Yeah, no, it's not too bad, is
Yes.
it? Yeah.
So you can keep it a bit longer and it still stays a bit fresh,
But does Monastrell develop any sort of savoury characters as it ages, or how does it go?
Well, you're still gonna find this very dark cherry, and obviously when it gets older, you have this tertiary aroma. And how do you say in English? Tertiaire, the third aroma. Tertiary aromas like leather or tobacco or all this.
Oh, you do get some tertiary
Yeah.
savoury notes in there. Yeah?
I would say, yeah.
And the other thing is, in south of France, a GSM, Grenache, Syrah, Mourvèdre,
Yes.
is a very common blend. The
Yes.
Aussies love it.
Yeah.
The
Californians do it as well. It's
Yeah.
called the Rhone assemblage, the Rhone blend, right?
But you're talking about your blends being more Merlot and Cab Sauv,
Yeah.
but you did mention Grenache and Syrah. So do you guys do a GSM type of blend, or is it mainly just a...
There is a couple of Grenache as well down there, and they make some blends, but I think the typical Rhone blend, it is not. We use more also Petit Verdot, which is a Bordeaux variety, and not a Southern France variety. The typical GSM, they don't do it, no.
Okay. The other thing is you showed me a white wine.
Yes, the Verdejo.
Verdejo, yeah.
Verdejo. Yes. That's the variety normally you have in Rueda. It's more north.
Yes, that's right. It did smell and taste like a Rueda type of Verdejo.
Mm-hmm.
I thought anyway. Mm-hmm. It had that. It's not really a spiciness or a herbiness. It's sort of like a herbiness, but not quite.
I think it's more white flowers, like elderly flower and stuff like this. And as it is a very intensive variety, a very
aromatic.
Aromatic. That's the word. Thank you. Aromatic, like Riesling or Sauvignon Blanc. You always find these nice flower aromas as well in it, and I think it's well done because. Again, we are at 800 meters, and you can do a white wine down there, even if it's hot, because of the altitude of the vineyards. And
I saw that you guys had a grape variety, a Macabeo, which I
Yes.
think of as a Riojan grape variety. Viura is normally
exactly,
what you call
exactly. It's the same, yeah.
Yeah.
And they put also sometimes a bit of Macabeo in the and I think this blend or this wine you had before, I think they put a 5% or something of Macabeo in it.
Oh, okay. Mm-hmm. And Macabeo is used for cava sometimes as well, isn't it?
As well, yeah. In Penendes they have a lot of Macabeo.
No sparkling wines from down in Methia?
No. I'd like to just say that, as I said before, I think it's really worth it to go and get these wines from these regions, because you get nice wines for a reasonable price, and it's worth it to taste it once.
Yeah, and I think if you are going on holiday down to Alicante,
go
and learn, give it a go, try the wines, and if you don't like them, that's great. But if you do like the wines,
there are even very good restaurants in this region. There is 3 Michelin-starred restaurants. So,
okay.
Yeah.
Oh, so you can really enjoy yourself.
Yeah.
Excellent. Well, thank you very much, Caroline.
Thank you for being here. It was a pleasure. Thank you, Chris.
Cheers.